In the quiet village of Eldridge, Willow House stands silent and forgotten. For decades, it has watched the seasons turn, its windows like vacant eyes gazing over the rolling hills. Locals whisper that its former resident Eleanor simply vanished one stormy night long ago, leaving only echoes behind. These whispers travel on the wind, carried through the twisted branches of the old willows that give the house its name. They say the house holds its breath, waiting. They say it remembers. Tonight, another storm is brewing. The sky is bruised to a deep, moody purple, and a gentle rain has begun to fall, tracing silver paths down dusty window panes. Through the swirling fog, a pair of headlights cuts a weak path toward the house. Car slows, its engine a low hum against the patter of the rain. A young journalist named Sarah has come, drawn by the local legends, her curiosity a flickering flame against the growing darkness. She steps out, pulling her coat tighter against the sudden chill, and looks up at the imposing Victorian silhouette. Its gables pierce the gray sky, and overgrown vines cling to its weathered facade like ancient skeletal fingers. With a hesitant push, the heavy oak door groans open. Sarah steps inside, her flashlight beam dancing across the entryway. The air is thick with the scent of dust, damp wood, and forgotten time. Each footstep on the creaking floorboards seems to sink into the profound silence. She moves carefully, her light sweeping over cobweb-draped furniture and portraits whose subjects have long since faded into obscurity. The house is a mausoleum of memories, each room a chapter in a story she is just beginning to read. Sarah came for a story, but the house had its own tale to tell. In the grand parlor, beneath a shrouded chandelier, she finds it. An antique diary, bound in cracked leather, rests on a small writing desk. Its pages are brittle, the ink faded to a ghostly brown. As she opens it, the scent of pressed flowers and old paper rises to meet her. The handwriting is delicate, a looping script that speaks of a life lived within these walls. The first entries are full of hope, detailing the beauty of the gardens and the promise of a peaceful life. But as the pages turn, the tone shifts. Eleanor writes of a creeping loneliness, of long days bleeding into longer nights. She speaks of unexplained feelings, a persistent sensation of being watched by the house itself. She describes the way shadows seemed to deepen in the corners of her eyes, the way the wind whispered names that were not her own. Sarah feels a shiver that has nothing to do with the cold. The words on the page are not just ink. They are a voice reaching out from the past. Deeper into the house she ventures, her flashlight cutting through the gloom. Faint, almost imperceptible sound follows her. A distant whisper, like the rustle of dry leaves that is always just behind her. Soft footsteps on the floor above, so faint she thinks she imagines them, stopping the moment she does. The house is alive with these subtle signs. Shadows in the corners of rooms seem to shift and stretch when her back is turned. In the hallway, she passes a row of tarnished mirrors. For a fleeting moment, a reflection in one seems to show a figure standing behind her, but when she turns, there is only empty air. She dismisses it as a trick of the light, a play of shadows in the decaying manor. But the feeling of being observed only grows stronger, a silent weight pressing in from all sides. The house is not empty, it is just very, very quiet. As night deepens, the storm outside gathers strength. Rain lashes against the windows, and the wind howls a mournful song through the eaves. Sarah finds a small bedroom upstairs, deciding to wait out the worst of the weather. She lights a few old candles she found in a drawer, their soft glow pushing back the oppressive darkness, but also casting long, dancing shadows that writhe on the walls. She sits on the edge of the bed, the diary open in her lap, trying to piece together the fragments of Eleanor's life. Then, she hears it again. A whisper, clearer this time, weaving through the sound of the storm. It sounds like her own name, spoken on a sigh. Sarah. The voice seems to come from the empty hallway, from the very walls around her. The candle flames flicker violently as if in a sudden draft, though the windows are sealed shut. Looks toward a large, ornate mirror on the opposite wall. Her own face stares back, pale in the wavering light. But as she watches, her reflection seems to freeze, its eyes holding hers for a fraction of a second too long before mimicking her startled blink. Cold dread, slow and heavy, begins to pool in her stomach. The house remembers those who have stayed within its walls, and sometimes it calls them back. The curtains by the windows stir, moved by a cold breeze that seems to originate from within the room itself. The tension in the air becomes almost unbearable. The subtle noises are no longer subtle. The whispers are closer now, weaving in and out of the howl of the wind. The faint scent of lavender, old and faded, drifts through the room. Sarah's heart pounds a slow, heavy rhythm against her ribs, a drumbeat in the suffocating silence between gusts of wind. And then she sees it. In the doorway, for just a moment, a shape resolves itself from the shadows. A translucent figure, gentle and ethereal. It is a woman in a flowing, old-fashioned dress, her face obscured by a curtain of long, dark hair. She does not move, does not threaten. She simply stands there, an apparition of sorrow, watching with a quiet, heartbreaking sadness. The figure fades as quickly as it appeared, melting back into the darkness. But its presence lingers. Glimpses of her appear throughout the house, a fleeting shape at the top of the stairs, a silhouette in a window against a flash of lightning, a faint reflection in a darkened pane of glass. This is Eleanor. Her spirit is not one of anger or vengeance, lingers in a state of profound longing, a desperate, silent plea for connection. Sarah feels it not as fear, but as an immense wave of empathy. The house isn't trying to scare her, it's sharing its memories, its deep, abiding loneliness. Eleanor's isolation has been absorbed by the very wood and stone, and now it reaches out to the first person to listen in decades. Sarah closes the diary, her hand resting on its cover. The whispers are no longer frightening, they are invitations, a call to understand, not to flee. The air in the room is still heavy, but now with a sense of waiting, of anticipation. Taking a slow, steadying breath, Sarah looks into the empty space where the figure had stood. "I hear you," she says, her voice soft but clear in the quiet room. "You're not alone anymore." As her words hang in the air, a profound peace settles over the house. The restless energy dissipates like mist. In the hallway, a soft, warm light blooms for a moment, and within it, the faint outline of the woman seems to turn, to nod, before peacefully dissolving into nothing. The whispers cease. The oppressive cold lifts. The house finally exhales. As the first light of dawn breaks through the clouds, the storm subsides, leaving behind a world washed clean. The rain has stopped. Sarah leaves Willow House, stepping out into the cool, fresh morning air. She is unchanged on the surface, but a deep understanding has settled within her. She found her story, but it was not the one she came for. She glances back one last time. Willow House stands quiet once more, its secrets shared, its lonely echo finally heard. Some echoes never truly fade. They simply wait for someone to listen. A fictional tale of lingering memories, sweet dreams.